good.
Hi, Internet. We're back. Hello. We return. Our 1,000-year slumber has ended.
For
Or
some of
like
us.
2 or 3 weeks, whatever.
Speak for yourself. I'm still asleep.
Oh wow, you guys are very talented sleep talkers. Then your subconscious is filled with D&D. I'm not surprised. Okay.
Mine is.
Yeah, I mean, probably. So, hello, welcome back. Before I get into the recap that I will kind of also need for myself, Justin, are there any channel announcements to get through?
There's a couple.
Are you muted?
Wait, let's hang on. Mute check.
Yep.
Can the audience hear Justin?
Oh. Yep, I'm not muted on OBS, or is
Okay.
I mean, hi. We have a podcast up on iTunes, Apple Music, and Spotify? Apple Music? Apple Podcasts. That's what it's called.
That's Spotify, too.
Yeah. And you can find it by just searching up Mimics Monstrosities. You'll find Beneath the Tide on there, our core campaign that we run, our flagship campaign. It's Pirates. We'll be on episode 38 this week, so check it out. We have 5 episodes up on the podcast stuff, so you can check it out, give us a rating, because more stuff's going to come flying into that podcast thing in the future. I got a lot of fun plans as well. I've been playing a lot of Jedi Fallen Order, and I really want to do a Star Wars thing on the channel, so like a game or something. So yeah, so stay tuned for that and other stuff like demystifying DMing whenever that happens to be a podcast format thing.
I have a week off after this week because of Thanksgiving, so if I don't do it, then I'm a trash human.
Hey, you guys get a week off for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we have a slightly longer school year, so our summer break is shorter, but our other one, like not all American schools get a week off for Thanksgiving. Mine is special because we only have a 2-month summer.
Interesting. And coming this week, possibly, we may be looking into something really fun. I can't really talk about it, but keep your eyes peeled because something fun could happen. A first for the channel, and I'm very excited if it does happen.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you do. That's really it. Oh, come back tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time for our continuation of Descent into Avernus.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, and that's it.
Okay. So, recap time. Hello. I like how the chat, the Twitch chat is just us talking to each other. All right, so recap. After Drusilla and Hannibal investigated a enclave that had been attacked because they discovered that a lot of enclaves are being attacked, they arrived to find 2 more half-siblings, Sid and Ilvem, who had just witnessed Grantar, their collective bio-dad, being effectively possessed, enthralled, mind-controlled by an illithid, he then summoned a enthralled stone giant to attack them in a cave, and Hannibal went full badass for like 2 hours. They managed to escape the stone giant, get outside, where a not huge but good-sized red dragon dropped out of the sky and tackled it to the ground and killed it. Introduced itself as Grantar's mount, not quite his like pet, because red dragons aren't about that, but like his partner, because the Githyanki have a deal with red dragons where red dragons will basically do a tour of duty with them. After that, they headed back to the city of Pyre, where they kind of just got set up, found their way to the Onyx Cat Cabaret, where they met the owner, Mirth, a tiefling that everyone decided was hot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yep. No shame.
Ilvem set up a time to, or will be performing on the main stage of the Onyx Cat at some point. Everyone managed to secure themselves a very nice suite up on the second floor. Yeah, like a balcony and your own rooms and everything, and like breakfast provided. It was just lovely. Ilvem also noticed or was present when a group of people brought in a injured Goliath who Ilvem helped tend to his wounds on a table, and it seemed like Mirth was in on whatever violent activity was involved here. And you saw them all kind of hanging around the next morning. The Goliath had mentioned some kind of attack, something to do with some mercenaries, something. Wasn't terribly clear, but Ilvem investigated, and there was you found out that there was a ship that had been attacked on the harbor. And while the Goliath is injured, he basically was like, hey, this is something that we need to get done. And everyone else was like, you're too injured to take care of this. So that was just kind of left hanging. The rest of the party woke up the next morning and was heading for the University District of Elterberg to go to a library, because that is the center of learning, both magical and non, within the city of Pyre. And that's where we're going to pick up for the day, as you all are heading through the streets of Elterberg, looking for a library. So as you're walking along, again, this section looks very similar to this section of the city looks fairly similar to the one you came from, which is the Market District. It's just some subtle differences, like the businesses you see are a lot more geared towards a university. You see a lot more support for like bookbinding and things. You see a lot more delicate metalwork being advertised as opposed to like blacksmithing. So like instead of making horseshoes, things like small hinges and locks and things like that, and anything that would be used in small mechanical artifice type things. And generally speaking, the people you see around, it seems to be less, a little less varied of a population, because the Market District is also the main gate district of the city, so it gets a lot of traffic. This district is kind of tucked off to one side, so it's less crowded, and you see a lot of people wearing what looks like university robes milling around in the streets. And I believe you need to try and find your way to a library, which you don't know exactly where it is. You know, it's in this section of town.
Why don't we flip a coin and go in the direction the coin tells us?
I'd simply ask one of the people milling about.
Hello? Wanderer?
All right, so Hannibal goes up to a random person.
Yeah.
All right. Roll dice. Okay. You see someone in deep green robes. You see someone in deep green robes, like looking at standing in a glass blower shop and like picking up something that they have like on a shelf outside, like on display, and looking at it and like running their finger along the outside of it, trying to like feeling for the smoothness. And he turns around, see a deep purple tiefling with bright green eyes, just completely solid. Yes, can I help you?
We are looking for a library. Do you know where the closest one could be for us?
Well, I suppose, yes. The university library would be on the main university campus.
Do you have directions?
Oh, yes, of course. He like turns around and orients himself for a second. Head down that street. It'll take you to a main thoroughfare. Take a left, and it should bring you close to the main campus. You'll notice buildings begin to get a bit more spread out a little larger. You'll notice academic buildings, such and so forth.
Oh, thank you very much. Here is a gold coin for your troubles.
Like reaches out and takes it between two fingers. Thank you. Will that be all?
Oh, yes, sorry, I was just contemplating how rude you are, and then goes in that direction.
Charming. And he goes back to observing the glasswork.
Okay, bye.
Oh, Drusilla,
Yes.
I think we have to go back at some point to that man. What was his name? Let me check my notes.
Lucas?
Lucas, and get our money.
On the way home from the library, we'll stop there.
Oh, okay. Just curious, because what if I need money for books? But that's fine. Let's do that. Let's go. I just still have those stone giant toenails, so...
If you see a book you like, ask them to hold it for you.
Or
And
I
then
can
you
just
can
take
come
it,
back
because I
when you have
probably need it more than them.
No. Because that's stealing.
Exactly.
And that's bad. You're going to end up in jail. And if you end up in jail, I'm not coming to break you out.
Yeah, I can't imagine the people they have in jail here. Imagine it's a lot of child stealers. Okay, let's go.
Which way's the library again?
Hannibal has the directions.
Hey, Sid.
Mm. Yes.
If you knew that there was like maybe some kind of like trouble going on or something, would you help?
Well, I mean, what kind of trouble are we talking about here?
Oh, well, last night I went to have my meeting with Mirth about the performance.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his friends, I guess, came back injured. I guess there's been some kind of mercenaries and attacking of ships and stuff. And I don't know, I have this feeling that I'm supposed to help.
Well, if you feel like you're supposed to help, then you help.
Okay.
And you ask for money. You do nothing for free.
Oh, okay. Do you also want to help?
I mean, if you're going to help, then someone has to make sure that you stay out of trouble.
Okay, great. So as soon as we get back to the whatever that place is called, I'll talk to Mirth about it.
The Onyx Cat Cabaret.
Yes. It's almost as if I lost my notebook.
Oh no!
Okay, cool. Also, I really want to go to the bone grinder.
I'm definitely interested to see what that's about as well, so we'll look into it.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to go to the library. I hope they have books with pictures in it.
All right, so you make your way down the road. You eventually find that main thoroughfare the tiefling described to you. It's a much wider street. It's a much wider street, several stalls and things set up on either side of the road. Some taverns and inns and cafes type things as well, where you can see a lot of people sitting and relaxing. You can see one group as you pass by like an outdoor cafe where they've got a bunch of tables set up. You can see one group of students in white robes all gathered around like 5 tables all pushed together, and you can see the table is just covered in books and papers and things, and they're all just like huddled together, like scribbling away and talking and like comparing notes and things.
It's a little too real.
Yeah,
It's a little
right.
too real.
Yikes.
I play D&D for fantasy. Excuse you.
Well, so you're walking by and you get to pass by the students all cramming for finals and not actually be one. You get to walk by and just be like, that sucks, and leave.
Oh, this is lovely. It is so perfect. Everyone is so... Oh, this is great.
All right. And as you keep going down that street, eventually it kind of branches off, like it splits into several streets as everything kind of opens up around you. You can see wide grassy lawns and several like L-shaped buildings that kind of like enclose a specific area. And everything just gets kind of more spread out. The buildings get a little bit larger. You can see like wooden plaques above different doors and everything, and you get the sense that you have just entered onto the campus proper.
Are any of the students looking at my alchemical homunculus on my shoulder?
Yes, they would be actually. Yeah, that I for a second forgot about the winged skull with an acid cannon in its mouth that rides on your shoulder. So yes, that's definitely drawing attention.
I'm patting his head.
Yeah, definitely. You see, like, you can see students, like people walking around in various colors of robes. The ones in the white robes seem to be the ones staring the longest. Like, some of them, like their mouths literally hanging open as they're like,
Yes, it's Archimedes. He is a marvel.
then they like, it was like as you notice, like verbalize that you've noticed them staring, they like startle and then hurry off away towards wherever they're going.
Oh, this place is wonderful, you guys. We should just stay here forever.
No, thank
No,
you.
I'm not a fan, to be honest. Just want to find the library.
Yeah, what about
Mm.
the bone grinder? We can't stay here and go to the bone grinder.
Oh yes, that is correct. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
All right. After a little while of kind of wandering around, you eventually find your way to a fairly central building. It's tall, not as tall as some of the other buildings, and it's wider than it is tall, just like a big kind of blocky rectangle with a set of short steps leading up to the front where several statues are set up kind of at intervals. You can see just individuals wearing what looks to be like the robes of the university, spaced out at intervals, like within the stairs, and you can see several doors that lead into the front of the building. And it says, and yes, it is labeled library over the doors.
Well, I think we're here.
Alright,
Great.
just
Now
gonna
what?
march right in.
We
Just walk
sneak
right in.
Steal as many books as we can get.
I find it interesting that you're all right with stealing books, but not all right with simply asking people for information without paying them.
Yes, it's weird, isn't it? And I just go upstairs.
Okay. So you have the steps, you head inside, and from the outside, you could see like there are a fair amount of windows spaced out along the outside of the building. When you get inside, though, it is very dark in here. And as you turn around, it looks like where there were windows on the outside, there aren't windows on the inside. So like from the outside, you couldn't see through them. Like they had like curtains behind them, so you couldn't see through them. It looks like they're probably like just for show. Like there's a window on the outside and there's just a wall behind it. And inside it's fairly dark. The interior is lit by these crystals of various colors, primarily in the area you're in, like either somewhere between an orange and a yellow, set into what appear to be sconces on the walls, and they glow with just kind of like a soft golden light that illuminates the interior of the building. See any candles, torches, no open flames. Everything is this lit, these like glowing crystals for light. and you see a very large desk as you walk in to your left, where a dwarf with a pair of spectacles sitting on the end of his nose, mostly bald, but like with some wisps of hair like pushed straight back over the top of his head, more along the sides, white hair, but just white hair, and he's hunched over what appears to be a ledger, flipping through it and scribbling into the margins.
Hey, Drusilla,
Mm-hmm.
why are we here again?
I need to find a book to
What
get some
book?
information.
What kind of information?
I'm trying to find a place, and this library seems to be the best place to start looking for it.
Well, maybe if you told us what the book was, we could help you look for it.
I don't know what the book is. I just know what information needs to be in the book.
Are you looking for a continent, a city, something extraplanar?
I'm looking for a forest.
Excuse me, Mr. Dwarf Man.
Yes, what do you want?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm Ilvem,
Mm-hmm.
and you are...
You are new. Are you a student here?
Yes. I just transferred.
I am Amran. I am the librarian here. This is my library.
It's a beautiful library.
I know this.
Do you have a section about forests?
What about forests? Their composition, flora and fauna that can be found inside of them, classifications.
Maybe where they are.
So, geography.
Sure.
We have books on geography, yes.
Where?
What sort of geography are you looking for? Are you looking for modern geography? Are you looking for natural geography? Are you looking for ancient geography? Political?
Probably like natural and maybe some ancient. You know, like for flavor. Gotta hit that word count.
He goes into his. He turns around. He's got like just a series of tiny little drawers behind him. He starts pulling them out and flipping through little cards, a little card catalog, and pulling out some things and like rapid, just like with incredibly practiced deft motion, like flipping up and down like cards and looking at them. Like you're not sure you could even like read fast enough to see like identify what's on each of these cards, but he seems to just have like enough of this kind of memorized that he just needs to like look at it for a second before he knows he's not looking at the right thing. And he flips through and he goes through several of the drawers and he says, we have one section on the second floor that will be helpful for you, as well as one three floors down in the basement.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You will want the northwestern corner on the second floor and the southwestern corner on the third basement.
All right. Sounds great. I'll let you know how my paper goes.
Or you cannot.
Or I won't. Okay, bye.
Goodbye. And he goes back to whatever he's working on.
Hannibal will approach the desk.
What do you want?
Sorry for my companions. You seem like a very studious, learned individual.
Yes.
I like to consider myself as well. Look at this creation I made. This is Archimedes, my homunculus.
Do you want something?
Yes, actually. Do you have a location for possibly those looking into studying into the arcane? Possibly wizardry, ancient wizards, stuff like that?
Arcane research makes up half the contents of this library.
Oh, that is wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And I run
Are you
off.
looking?
And I just run
All
off
right.
like a kid in a candy store.
Okay. Okay, so Hannibal just runs off. As you get past him, you can see that there's basically like this. As you get further back, there's this one section that's pretty much just a straight hole up to the ceiling and down into darkness as far as you can see, where you can see like railings of different of the different levels going down, and like you can see 2, maybe 3 ways down, but it just kind of disappears into darkness below you. You're not quite sure how many floors underground this place goes, and you can see 3 above you.
Oh. I just stand there mesmerized, just
Yeah, and you can see just shelves on shelves on shelves of books. And like as you look up and down, you can see several in both directions.
yes. This is where I belong.
Well, Drew, he said the second floor and the basement third floor would have stuff that might help.
Thank you.
Of course.
Drew's gonna make her way to the second floor.
Okay, you head up one of the staircases. You make your way up to the second floor. It's not entirely bookshelves. There's like little tables and nooks and things set up where people like there's wider, big round tables with chairs set up around them where you can like set up to do research and do work on things. You can also see little like alcoves set up where there's individual desks with like a bench set up where people can like work in like almost like a little cubicle by themselves, as well as like secluded reading rooms that you can open doors to get into. Eventually find your way into this corner section kind of tucked away in like a U-bend of bookshelves, and variety of languages, variety of sizes of books, colors of bindings, some with titles on the outside, some without. So if you're going to look for something specific, I will need an investigation check. Because there are thousands of books just in the process. Like in walking up here, you have already seen thousands of books.
Hey, Sid,
Small
maybe
book.
you should help her. Ilvem says as they sit at a table, if there's a table nearby, and just kind of like put their feet up and lounge.
As soon as you put your feet up, you see on the surface of the table, like you see like almost a crack appear across the middle of the table that then opens up and like widens. It looks like for a second, it looks like the table is splitting in half. But then it opens up into a mouth, and you hear a voice just, "If you do not get your feet off the table in 3 seconds, I will forcibly eject you from the building."
Noted.
And then it just vanishes again and disappears.
I was
So,
actually
no
thinking,
lounging.
no lounging apparently. I was actually thinking of following Hannibal, making sure that he doesn't do anything that might get us kicked out of here.
I was just gonna pretend I didn't know him, but I guess that's a good idea too.
I feel like at this point he could be traced back to us, so.
Okay, well, I'll help Drew look around. Especially if I
Alright.
can't lounge, I guess there's not much else to do.
Alright. Well, you two enjoy your time. I will let you know if Hannibal tries to burn down the library. And I will follow Hannibal from a distance.
Good luck.
This sort of... Thank you, I think I need it. I'll follow Hannibal from a distance, not like right on his tail, but like definitely keeping him like in my sights and just sort of perusing the library as we explore, keeping my eye out for anything that that looks interesting. I've spent enough time in libraries and reading books that I've probably just like naturally just like looking for anything that seems extraordinary, anything maybe written in like celestial or anything like that.
Okay. Since you're trying to kind of like split your attention between like casually perusing and looking at Hannibal, I'll ask for a perception check to see if you can like spot anything as you're walking.
Okay, cool.
And then Hannibal, are you just like randomly just kind of going through this place and just grabbing books where you can?
Mainly, yeah, grabbing books, whatever I can get, and anything on, Wizards for Dummies, beginning wizardry.
Okay. All right. And Drusilla, how did you do on the investigation?
I got a 19.
Okay. All right. So what are you trying to research? You're trying to research the location of your
find-
forest, right?
Yes.
Based on what you
a
remember?
Map. Yeah,
Okay.
A map or something would be helpful.
So, all right. So we'll start with you because you kind of beelined for this specifically. So what you remember, is from what you remember, the main things are kind of, you have distinct memories from your druidic heritage of like the specific plants and animals and climate and all of these other things. You remember that there would have been mountains kind of nearby, like they would have been visible on a good day from like a higher point to the north east. But you realize pretty quickly as you're looking through these books that the people who write things down in books don't necessarily care about the same things that a druid would. And you start trying to think, okay, what are the things that, as you're reading through these and noticing the information that they do have on these forests and things and like the markers that allow you to identify their location, you start to think about like the kind of things that these kind of people would care about that you remember. You start to think about kind of what you heard about the outside world growing up. You remember that you were frequently visited by furbolgs, so there was a significant furbolg presence nearby. You heard about Goliaths nearby as well as a bit to the north. You would have probably had like at least some children's stories and like warnings as a child that occasionally from the north lycanthropes will come down into your woods, as well as, and the one that ends up helping you the most is that to the southwest of your forest you distinctly remember hearing many stories about conflicts between furbolgs, Goliaths, and humans. And that's the one that really helps you narrow it down, because as you're looking up and researching specific conflicts between those three groups, Goliaths and humans definitely have clashed in the past in various places. Furbolgs and humans less so, and it's very rare to find a place where you have all three of those groups intersecting in the same place. What you find is that the best example of that is in the collapsed nation of Kulamyar. It's one of the more central nations on this continent. The only human settlement there is a city called Bastion. Otherwise, the nation itself has pretty much been filled in with Goliaths and furbolgs, and there is a very sizable forest along its northern border, just on the southern edge of the four nations that form the Arclight Covenant, as well as Symbia, a gnome kingdom, which is known for its intentional use of lycanthropy. So, piecing together all of these things, you would be able to identify, that this big chunk of trees right here on this map that I'm looking at is most likely the forest you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And any idea on how far it is from Pyre?
I can actually tell you. I have the exact distance map pulled up right now. It is... Whoops. Not actually... Let's see. 1, 2, 3... it's... The northern edge of it is about 200 miles due south. little less than that.
To the northern edge of
Actually-
the forest.
Yeah, actually, hang on. It's just under 150 miles south, which basically it's the nation you're in, where Pyre is. It's actually like if you go, you don't have to leave this country. Like if you go past the southern border of the country you're in, you will hit the forest. You're actually relatively close. If you wanted to take a straight shot, it looks like you would have to pass through the western corner of the next nation over called Iolith, because its border kind of cuts down at an angle. So, but Iolith, all of these nations are Iolith and Deerluth, the one you're in now, are both within the kind of union of nations known as the Arclight Covenant, of which Pyre is the capital.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, and yet that does not actually with a 19, that does not take you terribly long. You are able to piece together these things. You figure out what information is useful, and cross-referencing a map with a couple of history books, books of recent history, really, you're able to piece together like, yep, this looks like the best bet. All right.
Record
like to
that
think of
information
them.
somehow.
Ilvem's still on their first book. You're like, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna find something. It's in here for sure.
Let's see, what is Ilvem reading? Ilvem found a very nice field guide to plants. So like a lot of pictures, just like a lot of like very specific pictures and diagrams of flowers and other plants and things like that, like set up on a full page, and then like little notes and like captions for the different, like little arrow pointing to stuff, and like specifically labeling the different parts of the plant and properties and things like that.
Thrilled.
But a lot of pretty pictures.
Ilvem can read. They just don't really like to.
Right.
If Drusilla looks over their shoulder, does she recognize the plants?
Oh yeah,
Are they
probably.
common ones?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, this is like a basic, like, how not to get poisoned when foraging for food kind of book.
Oh, so it's like a
Hey,
note.
Drew, did you know you can't eat these? Wow.
Yeah,
On the
I knew
page,
that.
just deadly nightshade.
Oh yeah, Kaylin would use those in poison all the time. Everyone knows that.
Oh. Yeah, I knew that. Definitely.
Stuff
All
I
right.
How'd your
didn't
search
learn.
go?
I found what I needed.
Okay, great. We should probably go check in with Sid and Hannibal then, huh?
Speaking of,
Do we have to?
Hannibal, you're looking for basically wizards for dummies, right?
Yeah, and anything about creating spells.
Okay. You kind of wander for a bit, but there's enough books here on arcane magic that you don't really have to investigate. You can just like start grabbing stuff off the shelves, and there's whole sections. And since you're looking for especially very beginner material, that stuff is very readily available.
Cool.
What you kind of just, I'm guessing you're kind of just like taking some things, flipping through, and just like passively absorbing some, not necessarily like reading books start to finish, but just like flipping through. All right. So you find some kind of like, as you look for like beginner information on wizards, you end up as you kind of look for those keywords, you end up finding actually a book on the beginnings of wizardry, the ancient history of wizardry, and find that the schools of magic, as they're defined, like enchantment, evocation, illusion, necromancy, so on.
Mm-hmm.
The reason they're called schools of magic is actually because in the next nation over, Iolith, they had a very strong arcane magical tradition in centuries past. And those schools of magic actually refer to specific like locations, like actual schools of magic set up around that nation that each specialized and worked to define and kind of classify magic into like spells into these specific schools. So this kind of brings up the fact that magic is not the classification of magic into these schools is it's like a definition that's put on them by people. That's not like a cosmic that's not like a cosmic classification. It's more of a one created by people studying magic. So there's not really necessarily any reason why like a fireball is fundamentally different than an illusion spell, but that's how like they're defined as separate just to classify them. That also means that as you're looking through it, you would realize through your training and everything that this means that it is entirely possible for there to be magic that exists outside of that classification as well. Looking around a little bit more, you find like some very beginning textbooks on magical theory, and how specifically wizardry, like on the different classifications of how magic is used. Wizardry is very much based in heavy study and the process of copying, the process of copying down magic into a spell book and having it written down is almost like the first part of casting a spell for a wizard. It's like, it's not just about writing down the information. It's about using specific inks and a little bit of magic in the process to like almost create a partial spell scroll in the spell book, so that when a wizard casts a spell, they're like the spell book itself has some magical properties to it. It's not just about like reading and memorizing the spell. The spell book itself is an essential part of the casting, which is why a wizard like can't really just know a spell and cast it unless they are very, very powerful.
Okay.
You would like have to be a very, very talented wizard to cast anything above a cantrip from memory. And looking, it seems like it does fit with a lot of this is making sense to you because with your alchemical and artificery studies, you have a very methodical and formulaic based way of looking at magic, which makes a lot of sense with this. Actually, how you're trained, you might actually think about a spell book almost like a little bit of magical artifact work. Like it kind of fits into that same vein of how you work with things and makes sense to how you would think about it.
Excellent.
And then was there anything, so just kind of the beginnings of magic, like beginning magical study and and you spell creation as well, right?
Yeah.
That one's a little bit more difficult to find information on. Seems like that's a more advanced topic, and usually from what you find, it seems like that is a deliberately absent topic in the areas you can find. You eventually do find your way down to some areas with some like a section that's like blocked off, like walled off, and there's like locked doors, and there's signs and plaques that have like that basically indicate these are more advanced sections that they keep not just anybody can get into.
Okay.
You find some mention, like some more vague mention of spell creation, that it can be a very dangerous process, very difficult, requires a lot of experimentation.
Perfect.
Given that, if a first year student was like trying to create a spell, there's a lot that can go wrong. A lot of things like a slight change in one hand motion or symbol or figuring out what material components you should be using. If you use the wrong one, it can drastically change the effects of the spell. And when you're trying to harness those arcane energies, you can change things that you really wouldn't want to change. Like, for example, if you're trying to create a different version of the fireball spell, you might accidentally, instead of turning it from a range spell, turn it to a range of self.
Cool.
Yeah, and just explode yourself. So it's a long process that is usually done with a lot of specific study, and the specifics of it seem to be locked up in here as well.
Okay. I want to take the history of magic book, and I'll take the wizard training book essentially,
yeah,
and go back to the desk.
Okay.
And make a mental note. I need a spell book as well.
Okay.
And I approach the dwarf at the counter.
Okay. As you're heading back there, Sid, how'd you do in the perception check?
Hot nasty 11.
Okay. Um,
Stop.
You're looking around for books in Celestial. What at your Hannibal is like darting around and going to places, and like you
Mhm.
see him staring at what appears to be a restricted section at one point, and like that draws your attention. He eventually does not attempt to get in, but like definitely drew your attention for a bit. So you're a little busy, and eventually you find something. You spot Celestial out of the corner of your eye, and you grab a book and look into it, and you're reading through it, and it appears to be a hymnal,
Hmm.
just like a book of religious songs written in Celestial, which they look nice. They sound. It seems like they sound lovely when sung out loud, but nothing like earth shattering or spectacular.
Yeah. All right. Appreciate that for a moment, and then put it back where I found it.
Okay. All right. Hannibal, as you're getting to the desk, I think because Drusilla and Ilvem finished up the research, did you say you were going to go try and? Were you still Drusilla? Were you still researching? Or were you going to head out and try and find Hannibal?
I think I've got the information that I need. I just need to get to the forest, so I got that information. So I think just find Hannibal again.
Okay.
Make
So
sure he's
you,
not dead.
yeah, as you come back down, you'd spot Hannibal coming up from downstairs and approaching the desk. So you all kind of come back together as Hannibal. You approach the main desk where the dwarf is. Looks like he's got a crate filled with like straw and sawdust that he's like gently pulling books out of and brushing them off, and you can see him cast a little bit of prestidigitation that like cleans off all the dust and everything before gently setting them down on the counter. He's got white gloves on as he handles these very old looking books. Looks like they just got shipped in.
I drop my books on the counter gently.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to buy these 2 books, if possible.
Well, this is a library, not a bookstore, so
I understand.
we do not sell our books.
What if I give you 10 gold for both of them?
No.
But what if I want to keep them?
Then find a copy in a bookstore. This is a library. We keep our books. They do not leave the building.
Okay, and I just walk away.
You just leave them on the counter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I regroup. Okay, where to now?
Well, you supposedly needed to find someone named Lucas.
Oh yes, Lucas. Huh. Yes, Drusilla and I owed money from Lucas for breaking into the bank.
Yeah. And
Wait, you broke into a bank?
No.
it was it's a long story.
Drusilla tortured a poor man.
I did not. You were the one that was doing with your magic stuff. I was the one that let him go.
Okay.
Ilvem's gonna slide up closer to Sid again, like they do almost every time the twins or the siblings freak them out.
Technically, you're all siblings.
Well, let's go see Lucas, and then
Bone grinder.
I guess
I did not hear Bone Grinder.
What did you
I don't
hear?
know. I don't know if the gauge just popped out of me or what, but so we're gonna go find Lucas on Grinder, and I was like, "Oh, are we?"
Yes. This. Yes. Here is a demi-plane. Yes. So we go speak to Lucas, and we get our money, and then we go to the bone grinder.
Okay. All right, so you head out of the library. No one has any books with them, right? Like, you all put your books down?
Unfortunately.
I saw that
Yes.
look. Did Drusilla take any books?
maybe.
Did she?
Yes.
Aha. So you all start heading out the door. When Drusilla gets to the door, however, there's just like all of the crystals in the area turn from gold to red, and you just hear like a boom, 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 and the doors just slam shut in front of you.
What is happening?
Put it back.
Hannibal, put it back.
I left my books on the counter.
I can confirm.
I didn't take a book.
I believe you.
She'll
Drusilla.
put the book back. Take it out.
You just drop it on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You drop it. You don't hear a thud though, as you know, like look down and see like a spectral hand having appeared and caught it, and start floating it back over to the desk. If you want to be welcomed back into my library again, you will show respect to my books.
I don't plan to come back.
Good. I'll leave. The lights turn back to gold, and then the doors just swing open.
Oh man.
I think he was quite rude.
You literally tried to steal a book from a library. I think his response was warranted.
I have to agree with Sid on this one.
Knowledge should be free.
It was.
It is free.
You
It's
didn't
just
pay
in a
Not free to leave
location.
that building.
Well, yes, because then if you took the book, nobody else would have access to it.
They don't know that. I'd share it.
That's not the same as a book being in a library, where anyone has access to
You
it.
could just copy down what you want. We could
did.
plagiarize the books. And then we'd have some.
Anyways, let's go to Lucas.
Yes, Lucas.
All right. So it's a bit of a walk. You have to get up to the riverfront district. Pass through Midtown to get there. It's also the same area where the Bone Grinder is. So for Ilvem and Sid, they lead you through a more central part of town. Eventually, you get up near the river. There's kind of an area like closer to the water where the street itself is set about 15 feet above like river level. But before you get to that point, there's a lower section where there's some archways that lead under the city into what appears to be an out of service sewer. Just kind of like a wide open arched tunnel. The smell is not great, but it's very old and faded. Like it's just kind of just the edge of being able to smell something not so great, but not quite that ever present. As you're walking along, you can see several people that are kind of sitting around, huddled around. There are some places like you spot some corners as you walk past some other side branches where it looks like some people have set up makeshift homes down here just from the shelter of the tunnel system. And eventually they lead you up to a door. There's like a relatively nice, compared to the area, wooden door set into one of the walls.
All right.
Who is it?
It's us, Lucas, me and Drusilla, and Sid and Ilvem, but it's me and Drusilla.
I know two of those names, but I'll trust you the other two are friends. Come on in. You hear the door unlock.
All right, I go in.
Let's go
Okay.
in.
All right, you head in. You enter into what appears to be a old cistern, like a very large cylindrical round room. The back half of the room has like a wooden floor set on it, almost like a deck. So it's set up a couple inches off the floor or off the stone ground into basically an office that's set up across the entire back half of this area. There's like shelves filled with knickknacks and things. And the desk setup where you see middle-aged human man with like kind of like the Billy Goat goatee, just the chin, beard hanging down, leaning back in his chair as you come in. Just, well, If it isn't my favorite bank robbers.
Yes. Yes, oh, it was so much fun, thank you.
I understand that it went very well, except for needing to pay for some therapy of one of the employees.
Yes, Drusilla got a bit carried away with the whole operation, which is understandable. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm not going to judge the job got done. As I understand it, there was a bonus in question that this was well within the bounds of your bonus to be paid for.
Oh, excellent. And we also want to go into the bone grinder.
Oh, magnificent. Oh, that is lovely to hear. You're going to have a lovely time.
Right,
You're gonna-
friends? We want to
have-
go into the bone grinder? Yes, yes, we do. Excellent.
You're going to have a fantastic time with it. Now, I believe payment is in order.
Yes, we
For-
kind of forgot that we had to get paid. We kind of just went on our merry way and forgot about the payment.
Well, I can't say I will complain, though I will let you know that after a certain amount of time, if you do not return to collect on your payment, I suppose I will have to just assume you are dead and keep it. But you have not reached that time yet, so don't worry. It is still safe and sound right here.
Oh, wunderbar. Thank you, Lucas.
All
What is
right.
that time? Like how long?
Well, it depends on the danger of the job and the people I'm working with, so it varies from person to person. If it's some, brand new, fresh-faced, danger-seeking types like yourself that take on a very dangerous job, I might assume they're dead before a more capable group on a far-flung job to another nation. It depends entirely on the circumstance.
Oh,
Yourselves for this job, it's only been a few days since you completed it. Wasn't a terribly dangerous one, so I would assume that you just have other things to work on.
you could say that. We've done a few things.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them are my business, so let's get you paid.
Yes.
All right, and he goes over behind his desk, and he kind of like turns so he's covering whatever he's doing, like trying to block it off with his body. He starts rifling through it. All right. So he's kind of going through some of the stuff and eventually turns back around with a small wooden box and sets it up on the table. Says, now, I believe the agreed upon rate was 300 gold pieces.
I believe so.
No. There was a 600 gold piece base plus 600 extra that any damages would come out of.
Well, you are astute. I like to make sure my workers are paying attention.
I'm more interested in knowledge and magic items I didn't know. Oh.
So he opens up the box, and you can see several rows of gold coins set up in there. Actually, it would probably be trade bars for that amount. As he opens it up, you can see there is 900 gold pieces worth of little gold bars set up on the inside.
Well, this is just fancy.
That is accounting for a 300 gold out of your bonus for necessary payment to the employee who was traumatized, as well as minor damages.
Can't believe you did that, Drusilla.
So here you are, and he shuts it, slides it across the desk to you.
Thank you.
Who wants-
Drusilla's gonna take it.
Oh, you don't want me to carry it? I have my bag of holding.
Nope, I got it.
Speaking of jobs, are you in the market for more work?
Bone grinder, is that a job?
Well, some people some people have made a career out of it, but there was one in particular. Your services in particular have been requested.
For what?
You mean?
Well, do you remember the first job that you did for me with the university student?
Yes.
Oh,
Well,
no.
Oh,
Is
more
it back in the
spiders. I can get
chapel?
more eggs.
No.
I don't know exactly. All I know is
I
that
ate one.
is Professor, the one that you were cleaning out who owned the house that you cleaned out. Well, he apparently got caught wind of the job that you did, and harbors no ill will towards you. As wasn't too happy with his student for not telling him, but he was very impressed by your abilities to clear out his house of such dangerous creatures, and I believe he wanted to speak to you about doing a job for him.
Oh. Well, that's interesting.
If you are interested, I have a bit more information. Otherwise, I have other clients I could pass this along to.
Drusilla, are we interested?
He asked for us specifically, right?
He did. He was very impressed by the work you did.
We'll see if we make it out of Bone Grinder, and then we'll come to a decision.
Well, I could give you some details I could give you some minor details if you like.
Sure.
I understand it has to do with a delivery of magical supplies and items that was intercepted by a group of ne'er-do-wells on the road. And I believe the job is retrieval.
Of magical items, you say?
That is what he said, yes.
Interesting. Hmm.
Did this professor mention what they would be willing to pay?
He did not, however, well, you saw the inside of his house, yes? He's a very well-off man, so I assume that he'd be willing to pay quite handsomely.
There's like kind of something I wanted to check out, so I don't know if I have time to accept a job.
Well, there's some time before you need to come to a decision, so take your time and let me know if you decide you would like to or would not like to accept this job. And I'll
Also,
pass that
hi, I'm
information.
Ilvem.
Very nice to meet you. My name is Lucas Gislaine. Ilvem, there's part of the last name that he gives you, kind of, it doesn't sound familiar, but the nationality of the name sounds familiar, as well as like part of his accent. Like his accent seems like a weird version of one you're familiar with, from the part of your life just before you got whisked away to the Enclave.
Oh. Nice to meet you.
Nationality speaking, not necessarily
Yeah.
a specific association.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you as well. So if that will be all, you have your payment. Let me know if you would like to accept that job. I think you would be very grateful. And just to let you know, a person in his standing would most likely help your reputation in such circles and would be very beneficial in pursuing future jobs if you should like to do so.
And if he's looking for more students.
If that's the kind of thing you are interested in, I'm sure he would be happy to help.
Okay, wonderful. So yeah, we'll make a decision. But I think we really need to clear our heads with the bone grinder.
All right, that sounds good to me.
What like time of the day is it by now? Like how long do we spend in the library?
It's probably getting to like late afternoon at this point, because there's a lot of walking. You kind of went from the northern end of the city to the southern end of the city, and now like back up to the middle. So you've been walking around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a few hours of walking, a few hours in the library.
What if we go get dinner first?
I have dinner right here in my bag.
Oh. Do you?
You think so? I have fish scales, some unidentified slime that I don't know what it is. I have a brain, and I have toenails.
Okay. Yeah. That's something we can put in our bodies, I suppose.
Also, sorry,
wait.
Lucas, that we're discussing this in front of you.
Not a problem. I've heard worse.
I think we should go back to the inn and get some dinner before we do any kind of grinding of bones.
I agree. Ilvem, do you know if you're performing tonight?
I don't remember.
I think Brett told you that he would like basically let you know when you're performing. Or I think it was you're performing the next day after this one.
I'm performing tomorrow.
Okay, good to know. Yeah.
All right. Well, if that can...
Sid's gonna lead the way.
Okay.
Walking out.
So you head out.
Bye, Lucas.
Have a lovely day and evening. As you are all heading out of that area, you get to the main thoroughfare of town, the one that leads basically from the front gate all the way up. Drusilla and Hannibal would have walked this road. It's known as Bakir's Walk. It runs all the way up. Runs all the way up along the river and then up to the cliff where the palace is that houses the Silver Flame itself, where Drusilla and Hannibal went to that like festival dinner banquet thing outside. You have to go across that street to get towards the entertainment district. But as you cross the street and start heading that way, Sid, out of the corner of your eye,
I knew it.
heading kind of in that direction, like to your left, you spot some familiar looking flags and like what looks to be a procession of well-dressed and lightly armored, but recognizably armored elves accompanying a carriage along the road. Like far off the side, like corner of your eye, they're like almost out of sight when you spot them.
And are they moving toward us, away from us?
Away from you.
Away. Okay. Sid's going to turn to the rest of the group. I actually have some business that I need to take care of. If you don't mind going ahead of me and saving me a bit of dinner, I'll catch up with you shortly.
Okay.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right, and Sid's gonna take off in that direction. And with that, I'm headed out because I have other stuff that I have to do. So, have fun, guys.
You too.
I'll let you know.
Miss you already.
I'll let you know what you find. Well, we can go over that on Discord.
Perfect. Love it. Bye, stream. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Does Ilvem recognize the flags?
Give me a history check to find out.
Nope, it's a net one.
Yeah, no, you got nothing. You have no idea where that's from.
That super tracks.
All right. And then so Sid heads off in that direction after that procession. And you head north into the Barricades, the entertainment district. Pretty easy you found your way there a couple times already, so you make your way back to the Onyx Cat Cabaret just as dark. The oil lamps, street lamps along the streets are getting lit, and the inside of the Onyx Cat just glows light, fills the street with light. illuminates from the inside, and you go in, and it's the same lively atmosphere that it was the night before. People performing on stage, the big giant chandelier over top, lighting the place up. The bar is very popular. Tables are filled, people moving back and forth. And yeah, that's what you find as you enter back into the place where you have your rooms.
So we're having dinner.
Yeah,
No
I'm
bone
very
grinder.
hungry. Thank you.
It's fine.
We
Fine.
can still do bone grinder. We just gotta eat first.
It wouldn't feel right to do it without Sid.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's get some dinner.
Okay. So yeah, you are you going to grab a table in the main performance room, or do you want to go over like the quieter side of the place?
Main performance room. Ilvem
Okay.
loves it.
All right, so you set up a table in the main, like kind of main performance hall with the stage up front. There are several. You go through several performances. They're mostly instrumental tonight. It's around dinner time. Last time you came in, it was a little bit later, towards the more party end of night. Now since you're just at dinner time, it's more kind of just background music set up to like quiet enough people are talking and chatting over their meal. Last night when like the main performances would come on, the place would they would dim the lights and everyone would kind of get quiet and give their full attention to the stage. Now it's just kind of, again, more background noise, so you can sit down and enjoy your meal. You sit down at a table, and as you sit down, the Furbolg bartender / waiter that you met the night before, Quinroar, comes on over. He's got basically like the black vest on and like the towel draped over his arm. He goes, "Well, hello, how can I help you tonight?"
Just some dinner.
All right. Whatever's on, or anything specific?
Whatever's on.
All right. Any drink preferences?
Just some juice would be nice.
Not apple. He doesn't like apple.
Not apple. Don't like apple.
All right. Any juice but apple? Anybody else?
No, thank you.
All right.
I'm fine. Thank you.
All right.
Also, is Mirth around?
Oh yeah, he's around somewhere.
If you could just let him know I'm looking for him.
All right, I can let him know.
Thanks.
And he heads off to go put your order in. There's a very nice lute player on stage, just kind of strumming along a nice, relaxing tune. You get, Ilvem, just based on your knowledge of instruments, you do get the feeling sitting here a second night that there's probably some kind of enchantment on the stage that amplifies sound, because it's a very quiet like lute piece, and like one lute should not be able to project all the way back to where you are.
Mhm.
It's the strangest thing. It's like it's loud enough that you can hear it very clearly, but still quiet enough not to be obtrusive in like being able to talk.
Nice.
It's as if it basically it's not as if like the sound is louder, it's like it's closer.
So while we're waiting for our food, I'll fill the other two in about my interaction last night about the mercenaries, but just about the mercenaries.
Okay.
And be like, yeah, I don't know. I think we should just do something about it. Feels right. Feels good.
We could do that after this and then the bone grinder whenever Sid comes back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if it's something we can do right this minute. I just wanted to meet up with Mirth to get more information. We didn't get a lot last night.
Hmm.
Or maybe I did. I don't remember. I don't have my notebook.
You didn't get a whole lot. It was a lot of overhearing, kind of. As you finish filling them in, Quinroar will bring over your food. It's a pretty simple meal tonight of mostly chicken, potatoes, and green beans. Just like a fairly standard dinner, and he brings you over pomegranate juice.
Nice.
Very, 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 very red. Like stains your lips when you drink it.
Which is like definitely a look on Ilvem. Makes them like that much hotter.
All right. Lincoln walks away, and then a little bit later, you spot the horns of Mirth weaving through the crowd. Pausing, talking to people. How's your meal? How's it going? How are you doing? Before he makes his way over to your table, tail swishing behind him. Hello, I believe someone asked for me.
I believe someone did. How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We went to a library today. Drew tried to steal a book. It didn't work out for her. I met a guy named Lucas. We did a lot of walking.
It sounds like a very productive day.
It was great. I was wondering if actually we could talk to you about last night.
Which part in particular?
The part that has less to do with me and more to do with the troubles in town.
Oh, you mean the part after closing when you were here?
Yes.
We can, certainly. He leans in closer and just not here.
That's fair.
I feel like I should let you know this is a dangerous situation. If you don't want to get mixed up with some dangerous people, I recommend that you would just let it be. But my friends are not also in a place to deny help, and I won't prevent them from getting it if you're sure about this.
Yeah, something's telling me I really should get in there.
All right. Well, as long as you're sure. As soon as you're finished eating, meet me in the back, and I'll take you to the people that you saw last night.
Okay.
All right. Enjoy your meal, everyone, and enjoy the entertainment. They're here all night.
Thank you.
All right. So you can finish up your meal, finish up eating. He heads back in that area. You can see that. Oh, did we lose Kirkland?
I think so.
I know. Well.
Damn.
Let's break. Oop, and
there
drop.
goes.
Chat says they're just staying very, very still.
It's amazing skills.
That's true. So everybody, hi. Glad you could be with us on the channel. Thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm.
We should be getting back to more regular episodes like this one so we can get into things like the Bone Grinder continuously. Should be back next week.
Yeah.
2 weeks in a row. Surprising.
That's a record for us.
A little bit.
Yikes.
They said their Wi-Fi just crashed.
Okay.
So yeah. We should be getting back into more regular episodes because man, I have a lot of fun stuff planned, like the Bone Grinder and this job and the one that the wizard wants to give you and others. So yeah, I'm excited to get to more.
Also, yeah, just so because we're doing this, check us out on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever they call it now, and Spotify. Just Mimics and Monstrosities and Beneath Our Pride podcast. You can also, if you're in chat right now, you please check out our Patreon because I want to start doing adventures that I'm like little mini dungeons for people who do the Patreon. Give those to people for free. We have a Discord. Join the Discord. Talk to us because it's fun. A lot of memes.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, come hang out.
Yeah. And demystifying DMing will be returning. I have so much time off coming up. I'm gonna record a bunch of episodes in podcast format. First episode, I mentioned this a while ago. First episode is going to be about creating NPCs and villains, as requested by Justin, also including how to have your players not kill your villains very quickly. I also have an experience with that. There was story time while we're waiting. Back in the days of Pathfinder when I used to play, you used to have to, if you rolled a critical hit, you had to roll to confirm the critical, which basically meant like if you rolled a nat 20, you then had to roll again, and if you hit, it was a critical. If you missed, it was just a regular hit, which was like the most annoying thing. So it was like natural 20, natural 1. Oh, it was just a regular hit. Okay. But of course, everything got doubled, including modifiers. Like crits were a little bit more powerful. But there was a house rule. Oh, okay. There's a house rule that if you rolled a 20 and then on the second roll confirmed with another 20, it was just an auto kill. Yeah, that happened to a campaign villain. So I feel the pain.
Okay, am I back?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Sweet.
And we're back.
Sorry
So
about
you
that.
You're good. Technical issues happen. We have actually a lot less of them than we used to.
Mm-hmm.
So, you've all finished up dinner.
Yum.
Quinroy comes over and clears your plates, and you can head back into the rear of the cabaret.
Let's go.
All right,
All
so
of
you head
us or
back
just
in.
Ilvem?
All of us.
All of us? Okay.
So you head back into the quieter section, back past the stage, into the areas where there are a lot more sitting rooms, places where people can just kind of hang out, sit around, enjoy the distant, quiet sound of music. Less popular right now. That's more of like a later in the night kind of area, it seems like. We head over towards some of the inn rooms where Mirth is waiting for you, and then leads you over to one of the inn rooms, knocks on the door, and then the door opens from inside, and you can see the group. Ilvem, you recognize the three people you saw last night. You've got the Goliath, who's still like laid up in bed and bandaged and looks a lot better. He was very beat up last night, and then you also see the half-elven woman with the very short hair and the quilted armor, who is like, as you come into the room, like you don't see her at first, but as you come into the room, she's like around the corner just to your right, like ready to attack just in case. But when she sees Mirth come in with you, just kind of backs off, as well as the fire ganassi woman, who's got like the very dark hair that seems to like almost shimmer like burning coals, just kind of like that, very dark with just occasional running glowing red through it, and she with wearing several just like layers of wrapped patterned fabrics and silks. And as you come in, Mirth turns to the Goliath and says, Kaz, this is the person that came in last night and helped heal you a bit. And their friends,
Hi.
they wanted to ask about what happened. And the Goliath kind of sits up in bed, props himself up on some pillows and turns to you and says, you wanted to help?
Yeah.
I don't know if we were proper. I was a little out of it last night. I don't know if we were properly introduced. My name's Kaz Radan. People call me Kaz.
I'm Ilvem.
Nice to meet you, Ilvem.
As Ilvem like elbow checks Drew.
Oh, hi. Drusilla.
Nice to meet you.
Hannibal.
Hi. These are my cousins, Faith and Katya. He says, pointing at the half elf and the fire ganassi.
Nice to see you all again.
The half a woman just kind of nods, but Katya is like, good to see you too. And Khazradan says, all right, so I looks over at Mirth for a second with a questioning look, and Mirth just gives him a nod. He says, all right. So, well, I'll start with what happened last night. I was walking around. I was keeping an eye on things when I noticed there was a boat on the river being attacked. I stepped in to intervene because I noticed it was the Chimeras mercenary company. I don't know, or they call themselves the Chimeras Private Army, but they're a mercenary company. I don't know. Have you heard of them before? Do you know much about them?
Nope, this is my first time in Pyre.
Well, they work all over the place. They're not exactly local, but there's a lot of them here.
I have a pretty sheltered upbringing. It's safe to assume I'm not going to know a lot of things.
I'll keep that in mind. They're kind of all over the place. They call themselves a private army. They're soldiers for hire. They'll do whatever for anyone who's paying. In particular, their favorite employers in town are the nobility. The kind of people that live over in Old Town. That's who they like to get their jobs from. You know, the rich people.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know exactly why, but last night they were attacking a ship. It was a merchant ship. Couldn't exactly see what they were bringing in, but I tried to stop them, but it was just me and there was a lot of them, so I ended up getting beat up pretty bad, which you saw.
Yeah, you kind of got wrecked.
Yeah, thanks. Anyway, so one of the last things I saw was they were dragging the captain off, taking him somewhere, and they were wrecking the ship and its cargo. If they took the captain somewhere, if they took him off the ship, he's probably alive. And I get the feeling this isn't of any fault of his own. He was just caught up in all this, so I hate to see a person get caught up in the schemes of these rich people. And I think they've probably still got him holed up somewhere. I don't know if they're going to move him, but at least for probably a few days, they've probably just got him captured somewhere. And if they do, for one, I would love to see him get out of there because that's a terrible thing to happen. Two, if someone could get him out of there, officially, this is illegal. What they did was not legal. The nobles may have hired them, but that doesn't make it legal. So if we could get him freed, that's evidence against them. Now, normally, the Chimeras do illegal stuff all the time, but it's usually one or two of them, and if they get caught, they have a deal, or they know the right people. They can get them sentenced to exile, which basically just means they shuffle them off to another branch somewhere in a different country on a different island, and they just start all over. They just keep shuffling their people around. But if they've got this guy captured, that's an entire outpost of theirs complicit in kidnapping. That'd be an entire outpost they'd have to cut loose. And I hope you understand that would be a really good thing for me and the people that I work with.
Who do you work with?
There's a bit of a pause. He pauses, and there's a lot of the other four, him and the other three people in the room, Katya, Faith, and Mirth, all making eye contact and looking at each other like a Is it okay? Can I?
You can definitely trust me with this.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna do this for us, I guess practically makes you one of us. So, if you want, we're not really an official organization or anything, official group. Just some people who know each other and try to do right by the people of the city. We go by the Lost Cousins. Because anybody can be anybody's cousin, right? You can pop up anywhere, find out you had a long lost cousin. So
Okay.
That's how Katya and Faith are my cousins.
Wait. So they're not really your cousins?
No.
Oh, this is gonna get so confusing.
That's kind of the idea. It's how we explain how we know each other. It's hard to disprove if they're your cousin or not anyway. You get the point. Mirth is kind enough to give us a place to stay and bandages up occasionally.
Yeah, Mirth seems really well connected. Ilvem gives like a meaningful look at Mirth.
Oh, well, I try. What can I say? I have a lot of friends. Anyway, if it's based on where they were, they're probably not going to take this guy across the city, the risk being seen. So they probably took him to the nearest outpost of theirs. I can tell you where that is. It's probably just off the riverfront on the southern edge, between there and Midtown somewhere. I can tell you where it is. I know where all their outposts are. I'm going to warn you though. It's not a small place. There's not going to be, a handful of them there. It's going to be a good number. So if you're going to do this, you probably want to gather some information, scout the place out, get a good look. I wouldn't just charge in swords drawn. Well, I would, but we see how that went for me.
Do you know if any of these Chimeras army guys, specifically maybe higher ups, like go to any bars or anything?
I'm sure they do. I think some of either the higher up ones, I think they might have their own bars. I think some of their bigger outposts usually, it's like a half military outpost, half clubhouse for the members.
I'm sure if I could get somebody drunk, I could get the information I needed.
It's one way to go about it.
I'm very not threatening. People just tell me things sometimes.
Getting that impression.
Yeah.
So does that mean you're going to help?
Oh, yeah, of course, right? You two are in?
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Just like think how cool this would be. Taking down an entire criminal organization. Ish. Adjacent.
I mean, what would be cooler is if we left the city.
You want to leave the city?
I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm not from cities. Cities make me uncomfortable.
That why you don't wear
People.
shoes?
Yeah. Well, I like to feel the ground, to know where I am.
Okay. I still think we should do this though.
I mean, not right now. Right? We got
We could gather some information for suresy worsies.
Do you think, even if we had Sid with us, do you think the four of us could take down a criminal organization-ish?
No.
I'm positive we could. You seem to be not getting my point here. Do I think we have enough firepower to handle the organization. No, of course not. We would all probably die. But there are many different ways to play war than just blowing things up with magic or spitting acid at them.
Don't listen to him, Archimedes.
I still think we should have a powerful ally in our back pocket, and I know where to find one.
Can we get there quickly? We want to deal with this before they move the captain or they kill the captain. I'll feel really bad if they kill the captain.
Yeah. It's not very close. But
Look, like, you don't need to go. You don't need to go in and like take out everybody. You just need to get the captain out of there. If he can be a witness to what happened, that'll take care of it.
So we could do it just like the bank job, Drusilla. I can disguise myself as other people. All I need to do is see one of these mercenaries, and I can take on their appearance.
we could do it that way.
And be like, hey, give us the captain. We're gonna go cut him up into pieces and cook him. Maybe not that, but you know.
Yeah, the idea is there. Maybe not that exact route, but the idea is there.
I think we should think about it a bit more. Seems like we're biting off more than we can chew. And I, for one, don't want to die in a city. I'd rather die in a forest.
Plus, we do have that whole thing with what happened to Grantar and his mind control, and whatever happens there too.
See, everyone else in the room is gonna look at each other like, huh?
I don't mean to pull
So
this
we need a
card.
powerful ally. I think it's a good idea to have it in our back pocket.
But all of my best friends were just like recently murdered. And like their whole thing was like helping people when people are in need. And I just really feel like this is what I need to be doing right now to kind of honor their memory, you know?
You can honor their memory in a way that doesn't involve throwing yourself into dangerous situations.
Where's the fun in that? That doesn't make for a good story.
Stories kind of suck, though. Like, not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of them.
That's just because he wouldn't let you take his book.
And it's not just because he wouldn't let me take his book. I think he should have let me, but whatever. Forgive and forget, right?
Also, I don't mean to speak for Sid when he's not here, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be down for this too. Come on.
Look, you don't have to make any decisions right now. I'm holed up here. I can't do anything. So if you do it, great. Let me know you did it. If you can get the captain back here, we can make sure he stays safe. If you don't, you don't. You're kind of the hope we've got, so.
The only hope they've got. And we'll get cousins.
I don't want cousins.
You don't have to join the cousins. You know, that's not a thing you have to do. Just an offer if you want.
Okay. Let's
take some time.
compromise.
Oh, all right.
Let's go to a bar and maybe just chat one of these people up and leave it at there, and we'll decide from there if it's like an easy enough thing for our group to do.
are you going to be the one chatting them up? Because I don't think they'll respond very well to Hannibal or I.
Yeah,
No offense, Hannibal.
I understand.
like I said, I come off very non-threatening, and people like to tell me things.
I'm sure that's going to go wonderfully for a mercenary group. But let's find out. I will sit as far away as possible, so if anyone gets stabbed, it's not me.
I could handle a stab or two. Yeah,
Rather you
I could
not
handle a
get
stab or
stabbed.
two. Just checked my HP, like,
Plus,
can I handle a stab or two?
I don't
3
want,
though, no.
I don't want Moloch to come into any danger.
I keep forgetting you have him.
Just hanging out in your pocket.
So
All right. Well, if you want to go take a look at least, the outpost is pretty big, blocky building. About 5 streets south of the river, on the riverfront district. I think it's like 2 blocks away from the Pilgrim Services office.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Kaz. We will get back to you about what happens.
Thank you. If you do this for us, I'm gonna really owe you because I can't. So, thank you.
Okay, bye.
Have a good night. Good luck. Good luck.
why?
Why don't I take you all back out towards the front?
Sure.
All right.
Unless
Mirth.
do you want to go to our room to chat about this more? Or are we just going to go with my idea of chatting up a drunk guy?
I don't know.
We're just going to go back to our room to chat more.
All right. Well, let's right back out this way. I'll come out with you. Good night, everyone. Have a good. Keep resting. Someone will be back to change those bandages in a minute. Yeah. And Mirth will lead you back out of the room. And as you get out into the hallway, we'll just more quietly say, "Don't feel like don't feel pressured to do it. I know this is dangerous stuff, and I'd hate to see you get dragged into it. But I do appreciate if this is something you'd like to do. I do appreciate it. They're good people. They have good hearts. Their hearts are in the right place. They just keep putting themselves in danger, and I keep finding them bleeding on my tables.
Yeah, he really was bleeding, huh?
Quite badly. All right. I'll let you go to your rooms. I should go make sure that nothing's on fire out in my performance room.
Fair.
Have a good rest of your night, and I'll probably see you when you come back in.
Okay, bye, Mirth.
Have a lovely evening. He's gonna head back over towards the main performance hall. Then you guys can make your way back up, get into your room, open it with the key, get into your suite. Everything is exactly as you left it.
Wunderbar. Oh, so we have a lot of things to do, pulling us in different directions.
Wait, what? How many things do we have to do?
The visit wants us to do something. This is a whole situation with the enclaves being destroyed and them being taken over by those strange illithid.
Who's this powerful ally you were talking about, Drew?
Someone I know I knew before I would come to the Enclave. She taught me everything I know.
And what do you know? I didn't actually see you do much,
Well,
actually.
I know when to use my magic and when to keep it.
What kind of magic you got?
Isn't that obvious?
No.
Hannibal, is it not obvious where my magic comes from?
Maybe just a little, but I don't really pay attention to things. I don't, you know. I don't know. I don't know.
That forest I was looking for earlier. That's where my magic comes from.
Ilvem's not smart.
To deal with most of these problems, it would be to our benefit if we had a powerful ally we could count on.
I agree. But also, yeah,
But are you 100% certain your ally will leave the forest to come help in a city? You don't even like cities.
neither do I.
I'm kind of enjoying it so far. There's so much all the time.
It's awful. I'd rather
It
be in
really
my
is.
I'd rather be in my laboratory.
I would rather not be in his laboratory, but you know,
Yeah,
I'd rather
except
be
for
there than in a city.
um uh, except for Kohis, worst part of my laboratory.
That was the one you didn't like, right?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Before I left, I used my enchant to toss the desk all around and knock all their stuff on the floor.
It was so funny.
So,
I wonder if they're still alive.
you know, I hope so.
I
Everyone
wonder
needs a
if our
good.
enclave got attacked.
Yes. Oh, you know, it might have. I didn't think of that. And unfortunately, as much as I hate that person, I don't want him to be dead because everyone needs a rival. So,
You would remember that you were the second group to graduate, but like the other squads were set to graduate like in the days following you. So your enclave is actually was probably empty by the time of the attacks. They're probably out and scattered around the world.
but the question is how did they get to Grantar and turn him so easily? And how many other of our siblings, you know, because technically everyone there is a sibling. How many of them are turned as well?
I can answer the first question.
How? How did they get to him?
Okay, so it was the day of the attack, and Grantar asked me and Sid to come up to where we do the final test, you know, like the "Are you gonna graduate and leave the enclave" thing. But he just wanted to see the two of us, so we were on our way up to meet him up the mountain. And when we got there, Sid heard some voices, and we peeked out from behind a rock, and Grantar was there with 3 Illithid, who were just like, oh, talking, and also telekinetic powers. Oh. So we ran because Sid said there was no chance we were going to be able to kill 3 Illithid. And then we got back to our enclave, and it was already under attack.
So maybe he's in on it?
Why
I
did he want to see
don't
just
think
the two
so.
of you?
I don't know. Maybe to
Kill you?
maybe, but also, and don't tell Sid I told you this. He's been kind of like moody and troubled. So like maybe Grant Tower just wanted to be like, "Hey Sid, you're loved and appreciated in this enclave.
No,
Maybe
No.
stop being so
him.
grumpy all the time.
That doesn't sound
No.
Here's a
like
good friend named Ilvem."
I don't think
That does not.
that's
No,
It could have been.
no, that's not. That's not what Mr. G
I
would like.
grew up around Granta. I never left the Enclave. He was a bit of what you'd call a dick.
Well, all I know is that Grant Tower was fighting very hard against those Illithid.
It still doesn't excuse him for what he's done, unfortunately, to all of us.
He wasn't. He wasn't under control of the Illithid when he did what he did.
What did he do?
We were part of a village raid, and there was a lot of shit that got destroyed on his order, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
It was the day we decided we were gonna,
Kill him.
yeah, we were gonna kill him by allying ourselves with the Illithid and then having the Illithid kill him.
It's why I tried making my 2 bags of holdings that I had with him. I was going to take him and I to a different plane. That is still part of my plan, is to send him elsewhere. Somewhere that he can't come back from.
But if you do it that way, you also can't.
That's fine.
Justin, now that you're thinking about it,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that plan. You grew up around you grew up in the Enclave. You grew up around Githyanki and sufficiently powerful ones, and you would know that Githyanki that reached the rank of knight, which Grantar is, as indicated by his sword, is his badge of office, have the innate ability to cast plane shift.
I still have plans to work around that.
Just so you know, thinking back, you're like, oh, that would have stranded me in the astral sea by myself, and he would just be like, well, bye.
I have plans. So I've been researching the planes. There's a certain plane in particular that I want to bring him to, and hopefully do so in a state where he can't fight back, as in either inside a bag, and then I just kind of rupture it, or, you know, get him unconscious and bring him to a place called, well, just to a plane. But I'm trying to find a place that is just bad, where nobody survives once they go there.
Well,
But
that's...
you would have to go with him.
That's completely
To bring
fine to
him.
make sure he stays.
Hannibal, I'm not going to let you sacrifice yourself.
Who said I was doing that? Maybe a new place to live would be very nice for me.
You just said you're going to take him to a place where nobody survives when they go there.
I'd survive.
How?
I'd figure out something. It's why I'm trying to study things.
That's all a lot. But also maybe not like as pressing. You know, if we want to like
I don't know. I think it's
not die, I feel like going up against Grantar
I'm not
is
saying
not the route.
I'm not
to
saying we
not
do
die.
it right now. I'm just saying I don't want more children having to grow up like we did.
Mm.
I don't want, as much as I like to experiment and make new things, I don't think children should be the ones being experimented on and being changed and made into soldiers. It's not fun.
It's not. In this world, I was always told we all have a purpose and we all have some grand destiny we're supposed to fulfill. And being a soldier for him is not what I had in mind. So I'd like to get rid of that threat as soon as we can. Because I don't want to end up like him.
Okay. Things
I'm
could be
not saying we
worse.
can't help your friends, the cousins. I'm not saying we can't do that. Just think we need to look at it seriously and weigh our options.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting we just go in all willy-nilly. But I think we should help people where we can, and I feel like this is where we can. You said you don't want to be like Grantar.
I don't.
Grantar doesn't help people.
You got me there. I'm in. But after this, after we help these cousins,
We'll go to your forest. We'll meet your friend. I'm so excited. I've never been to a forest.
So not that
Oh,
great.
I can show you all the good spots, all the trees I used to climb.
I
Just-
love
I hope-
that plant book. I hope I get to see so many more plants in that forest.
If it's in the book, maybe don't touch it if you see it in the forest.
Oh, I've already forgotten most of what was in the book. I just like
Just-
the pictures.
Just don't touch any
Okay.
of the plants in the forest. Stay with me, okay?
I could harvest some things to make new poisons.
There was a few plants that were used in poisons in the forest, yes.
Yes.
All right, well, let's go further away into some information. Wait, where did he say we had to go again?
Well, he told you where their outpost is. That like the guy is probably the captain is probably being kept in.
So we know where the outpost is, and he said something about the outpost also being like their bar.
It depends on the outpost, like in the size. But he said like for some of like for the higher ups at least, their outpost would probably be like part military outpost and part like clubhouse, because they're a private army that gets paid very well, and see, you get the sense that there's some sense of enjoying their resources when they're not on the job.
All right, let's go be some base bunnies.
Alright.
You look so proud of yourself.
If we're going to get information, I would like to see one of these people first and then take on the disguise. Like Sam.
That's fair.
I can either be myself or I could
I'm just gonna go in as myself.
be a spider on the wall.
Maybe we should go ask Kaz what they look like so that we can spot one, like what their armor looks like, you know? If they have capes. You think they have capes? It would be so cool if they had capes. Should I get a cape?
No.
Capes aren't good for fighting.
You get caught on
Especially-
things with capes. You can strangle yourself with a cape.
No
And if
capes.
you got like a bow, it's like not a good time.
No
That's
capes.
true. I do have the quiver and yeah. Dang.
I think capes should only be worn by paladins, people of honor, knights, not mercenaries and whatever we are.
Used to wear a cape before I came to the Enclave.
I bet you looked really cool.
I did look really cool, thank you.
So let's go.
Alright.
Let's go take care of this.
Yeah,
Right.
we're just gonna go ask Kaz to like what to look for Chimera's army, like foot soldier, so that we can like just go scan, see if we can find one
Okay.
for Hannibal to turn into.
All right. So I suppose, you head back down to his room, then knock on the door.
Yeah.
They open it again. You can lean in. Like, yeah.
Hi, what do they look like?
What?
The army, the Chimeras. What does their armor look like?
Oh. They pretty much all wear just hardened boiled leather, pretty standard armor. They've got a branded stamp on the chest of like a dragon, a lion, and like I think it's a goat with a pair of wings behind it.
It's kind of dope. Do they wear capes?
No.
Drats. That's gonna be my opener. Hey, buddy, cool cape. Sorry, you don't care. We're gonna head out. Thank you.
Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.
I just like close the door.
Okay.
All right, so
Katya the Ganassi just like gives you a pleasant wave as you leave. Bye.
Me and Katya are best friends, and that's the key. Okay. Let's see if we can find somebody in boiled armor with a crest on the chest. Crest on the chest. That's a dragon, a serpent, and a goat.
Dragon, lion, goat.
I said lion.
Sure you did.
all right, so yeah, let's go sort this out and figure things out, and then who knows what will happen to us.
We're gonna save the day. Let's go. And then Ilvem's gonna like march out.
Okay, so you head out into the streets. It's nighttime by now after the dinner and the meeting and everything. So you can head back south into the riverfront district. You have to cross over the river. It's on the southern side of the river, but are you looking for the outpost?
No, I am keeping an eye open for anybody who's wearing that kind of armor.
Okay. You're kind of in the area, like in that general vicinity, though, still? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Just kind of wandering the streets for a while and looking around and just kind of keeping an eye out. In the first little bit of walking around, you don't immediately spot anyone just kind of out and about wearing that armor.
Drats.
Well, why don't we just get closer to the outpost and see what we can see?
That is such a good idea. I was just gonna wait here until one of them walked by.
I don't think that would have worked out too well.
Let's get closer to the outpost then.
Drusilla and I have experience in scouting out places.
I do not.
We scouted out a bank and then said we were all dead.
That
When we gave it back,
is
we did
concerning
give the money
information.
Speaking of giving it back, where is my money, Drusilla?
back. Back in our room.
Insight check.
No,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, okay.
So when you were back in the room, you just like tucked it away somewhere safe?
in like her room
Oh, okay.
Why don't I have my payment yet?
because we were busy talking. You know, don't have time to count. Like it's a lot of money. Can't count that high
It's not
that
hard.
quickly.
He said how much it was. It's not easy to. So
Yep,
fine.
then I have to split it.
That's
and
the
it's
whole
like, what do I do
point.
with the other? Yeah, and I have to count that.
I can
You'll
count.
get it when we come back. You'll get it when we get back from scouting.
Oh my
Okay, I
goodness.
promise. Just make sure you remind me so you don't forget.
Okay, whatever. So let's go find this outpost. Where are we
Okay.
going?
You got the description of where to go, and he gave you some pretty good
Okay.
directions. Walking along the main street on this side of the river, you spot that fairly large building, well advertised, like a big painted sign. It's not like super extravagant or anything, but it is large and then like plain lettered that just says Pilgrim Services, which is one of the landmarks he gave you. Someone at some point mentioned to Drusilla and Hannibal that there is a part, this city is the end of a religious pilgrimage. So you would assume that that has something to do with the people that make that journey that ends up at the palace. And then from there, you can head a few streets over, a few streets back, and eventually you approach and you can see kind of has its own like cleared out section around it. There's not a lot of buildings pressed right up next to it. It is a 3-story building where one, like the first floor is kind of like the back end of it is kind of just like an overhang, more so like there's pillars holding it up, but there's kind of like just an outdoor section of the first floor. Other than that, it's a fairly blocky building, and you can see a couple, like 2 people idly patrolling on the roof. Plenty of windows up and down the sides, but it's one of the more blocky, boring looking buildings in the area, but it looks like there's a fence around it. And there's kind of like an outdoor training area that leads into that overhang that leads into the first floor of the building with some very large doors.
Dude.
I would like to cast Enhance Ability on myself and give myself the Eagle Splendor, so I have advantage on all charisma checks.
Okay. You do also see, it's late at night, so you see a couple of them out in the outdoor training area. You can see the armor now. It's from a distance, you can't quite see the details, but it's this very fairly uniform light brown color with just like a chest piece and shoulder pads and bracers, and they're working with what looks to be wooden training weapons, and you can hear like the repeated clack, clack, clack of wooden training weapons hitting each other as like a couple of them are working on sparring in the outdoor training area.
So I can't make out any details on the armor.
From here, you're seeing this from like
Yeah.
half a block away. You'd have to get closer.
Okay. I get closer.
Okay. You approach. You just like idly walking by, just kind of approaching and staring. How are you?
I'm gonna walk by, but kind of give like quick glances so I can like kind of see what I can make out.
Okay.
Before we do that, Drusilla's gonna stay within like 30 feet of him, and she's gonna summon the hawk spirit totem, so that he'll have advantage on wisdom or perception checks.
Okay.
Sweet, I have really low wisdom.
Then Hannibal, yeah, give me a perception check with advantage as you try and pass by.
My wisdom is so bad. This is gonna be fun.
You have advantage.
Ooh, I have a -1 to wisdom, but it's a perception. Still -1. 15.
Okay. Yeah, glancing over, you can see one of them backs up and like takes a wide swing, so you get a great view of the crest. You can see, yeah, it's like stenciled in or like burned, like branded into the armor. A fairly detailed depiction of the 3 heads of a chimera, like left, right, center, and then underneath them, the pair of wings that kind of spread out across the ribs.
Okay. Do I see like any alleyways nearby that I can scoot down?
Yeah. You also, though, from here, as you're glancing around and look up, given that it's nighttime, you can see kind of in through some of the windows a little bit better.
Yeah.
You don't see a whole lot, but you do identify on one of the upper floors. You do spot bars on some of the windows on like one of the floors in particular.
Okay. So I had to sneak down an alley.
Okay.
Is Drusilla still following me?
Yes.
Okay. Drusilla, I saw bars upstairs on one of the windows.
Okay.
Maybe there's somebody important in there, or like the captain, perhaps. But I need you to cover me for like 1 second.
What are you doing?
Doing this, and I cast Disguise Self.
Okay. You turn into...
And I turn into a human with...
Okay.
Yeah, the outfit that I saw
Mhm.
with I have a black eye patch over my left eye,
Okay.
a grizzled, full, greasy, dirty beard,
Okay.
kind of scars and burns all over my face to make it look like I've seen combat.
All right.
And if someone lifts up the eye patch, the eye is just a mess of just pus and blood and just infection.
Gross.
And I go, how is this?
Wow. You know what? I think you got it.
Oh, excellent. All right. Where's the Ilvem?
I am waiting at like waiting like out in the open until you guys are like down in the alley.
All right. I'll come out of the alley.
All right. You see one of the members of the Chimera's personal or private army come walking out, all grizzled up and scarred looking.
And Drusilla behind us.
Yeah.
Oh, Hannibal?
Shh. But yes.
Okay, so what's your name?
Let's say it's Gunther. Gunther Woodbarrel.
Gunther Woodbarrel.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget.
Be right back. You guys discuss your plan. My notes on the. I realize my notes on this place are in the room over there, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
You know, maybe a less conspicuous face would have worked out, but I mean, you got the armor on. This should be fine. We'll just pretend like you're a new transfer.
I got my plan in my mind.
Well, what's your plan?
I can't tell you that just in case you all get interrogated or something.
I'm a pretty good liar.
I'm not.
Exactly.
Dang. Okay. So the plan is to leave almost all of the talking to me.
But I have the disguise on. But sure, why not?
Ilvem can be your guest. That's why you two go in together, you know?
Well, why would he be my guest?
So that no one questions why Ilvem is in their bar.
That's a
I
good
mean, I was just
question.
gonna offer my services. Or
You could do that too. Don't really have bards where I'm from, so I don't know how that works.
I don't know
you
if
do a lot of flute playing.
I don't know if they hire bards in here. I don't know why I'm still talking like this, but
I think it's good to get in character.
yeah.
While you're talking, do you want me to scout the place out?
Yeah, could you like possibly turn into a teeny tiny bird and go check out that window I mentioned? Like look through the bars and see what you can see.
Don't think I can fly
Oh, that's right.
right now. I could be a spider and crawl on the wall. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Or I put you in my pocket and you can scout the place out from the inside.
I don't want to be in your pocket.
That's fine. I'm just trying to offer alternatives.
Why don't you just spider crawl behind us as we open the door?
Could do that.
What if we accidentally step on her?
Well, that sounds like a her problem.
If you accidentally step on me, then it's going to be no more spider and it's going to be me.
It'll be real hard for you to explain, huh?
Yeah, so don't step on me.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. You should get in Hannibal's pocket.
yeah. Or cling to my back or something.
Just
Sorry,
to
real
get
quick.
in.
Also, really quick, sorry, I made a mistake. There are 4 floors, and the floor where you saw the bars is the 3rd floor.
Okay. Damn it. Well, ain't no time like the present.
So am I coming
Remember,
in with you guys? Am
yes,
I
you
crawling on the
are.
outside?
You're coming in. And remember, we're not here to fight. We're here to just chat people up.
So, spider or no spider?
Spider, do some scouting probably.
Okay.
If fighting happens, well. Oh, yeah. Archimedes are going in my pocket right now.
Smart.
If anything else fails, let's melt some faces.
Great.
I mean, if they attack us.
Yes. If they attack us, all bets are off.
Right, I wish
I hope they don't attack us.
yeah. I got plans if they do.
All right, let's go in.
I think I should lead, because, I've got the disguise.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's,
Spider.
that makes sense.
And, spot here. Drusilla, your spot. Where you pocket, back.
Before she'll go into the space, she'll I'll just be on your shoe or your pant leg or something.
Cool.
That way, as soon as you're in, I'll go.
All right. And yeah, I'm making my way towards the front door with everybody.
Okay, so Drusilla, when you go on Hannibal's leg or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you go on his leg, you actually pass underneath the illusion.
Yeah.
So if you press yourself close enough, there's an illusion covering him that you can pass inside of and pretty much be completely concealed.
Mm-hmm. That works.
It looks like the front of the building is almost like a business office kind of thing. It's there's a lobby and a place where people can come in and it looks hire these people.
Yeah.
But currently there's no lights on in that section. The door is closed. The front of the front facing side of the building appears to be closed down, and the back side, the training rooms that lead into the back area, is the part that still has light to it.
All right.
There's a fence running around that, but there's a gate.
Go through the gate.
Okay. So you open up the gate and head into the training yard?
Yeah.
Okay. So you head in. The two closest people to you who are dueling, Triton and a half-orc,
Fellow Triton.
catch, they stop and then they both turn to you, or turn and see you and then pause. And the half-orc looks in your direction and says, what's up?
Just here to relay information about that captain.
What captain?
The one fuck. That
Hi, I'm Ilvem.
great.
Hi.
I'm here to perform. So there's a bar nearby. I play the flute.
What?
I'm here to perform.
All right. Oh, well, hang on. Hey, are you together? Are you two together?
He just told me there was a bar here, and I'm looking to perform. That's how I know him.
Kind of. And he turns back to Hannibal. What? Why are you here again?
Sometimes, as you can tell, I'm beat up. I get hit in the head really hard. Sometimes I just say something that doesn't make sense.
Right. Why don't you head inside if you're to feel better?
That was the plan.
There's probably no captains here, but you probably want to go inside and feel better.
Thank you. And I just walk inside.
Okay. Yeah, it turns to Ilvem. Why are you here?
I want to perform.
All right. I guess head in, follow that guy.
Will do. Thanks.
All right. So you can head inside. You come into, there's kind of basically a garage door type opening where it slides, rolls up. And you come into an area that looks like it's got a bunch of not quite lockers, but just kind of the open cubbies upright where you can see they've got little metal, small metal nameplates basically engraved over each of them. You can see just random stuff. These are basically just their loadout bays where there's some weapons hanging in there, extra clothes, equipment thing, like just looks like where they store their pre-mission equipment and like load out in here. And there's like some benches, so kind of almost locker room-esque in this like main area that you come into. And then you see several doors leading in different directions as well as a spiral staircase that leads up.
Oh, look at that staircase.
Okay. And Ilvem, you're still following?
Yep.
Okay. Up the staircase, you come up into a hallway where you can see just a series. On one side, it's just kind of a series of rooms with windows that lead out into the hallway, like looking into them as you look in. They're all dark, or most of them are dark. You can see like some of them have like tables set up with like maps on them and different papers and pieces. Looks like some books set up and things like that, and like maps on the walls. It looks kind of like you get the sense of like a planning room basically. And then a couple like in the next room over is just a large room with a big open table and a bunch of chairs lining either side of it, and kind of like a lectern up at the front. Looks like room for presenting information. It kind of alternates those, like down the hallway you've got basically like planning room and then presentation room, planning room, presentation room. For about halfway down in one of the planning rooms, you can see there is light coming out from the windows. You can see some shadows moving. On the other side, it looks like no windows, but there are a couple of doors, one of which at the far end is much heavier, like is actually a metal door that like has a reinforced door frame and is bolted like in there. It looks very heavily locked.
Is there a keyhole?
There is, yes.
Man, it'd be such a shame if a spider crawled through there.
Are you a small enough spider to crawl through a keyhole?
I'm a tiny spider.
Okay, so you're like a tiny spider. Okay,
little spider.
Okay, so yeah, you can get onto the door, crawl your way up, get to the keyhole, crawl through. Takes you a minute. You have to like squeeze past some of the mechanisms and everything.
I got an hour of this disguise up, by the way.
Hannibal, did you walk over to the door, or do you just let her go walk down the hall to do that?
I'd say I'd let her get to that.
Okay, so then, yeah, so you walk down the hallway, get up, crawl in the keyhole. Getting inside, you can see it's dark in here, but there's enough light like coming in through the keyhole, basically, to illuminate it. And do spiders have dark vision?
30 feet.
Okay, so yes, then you can see in the dark. You can see basically like metal, like almost like storage cases, and like multiple racks, just weapons everywhere. You can see like racks of swords leaning up. You can see axes, daggers, long arms like pikes and things like that. On one wall, there is a completely like caged in section with like a separately locked door where you can see several, a handful, not very many, but several firearms like hung up on hooks with what looks to be the powder and shot in there as well, and that is separately locked. Basically, looks like you found the armory.
Cool. Jill's gonna go back out the keyhole and try and get back on Hannibal's leg or something.
Okay. Yeah, Hannibal, you see the spider come crawling back over to you. Hopefully it's Drusilla, not just like a random spider.
Okay.
All right. So now you're still standing in this hallway. You've got the planning room on your left that appears to be occupied, and then there's another staircase at the far end.
Where's the bar?
I don't think we're here for the bar.
The bar.
Oh, the hell. Such a shame if somebody crawled into the planning room.
Underneath the door?
Yeah.
Okay. You can see them. You can see some people sitting in there working and talking. They don't have their armor on currently. Looking over some maps, looking over notes, talking. How long do you sit there and listen? Because like right now, you get a lot of out of context. Just like, no, well, if we put someone there, then we won't have line of sight on this area, so we'll have to put a second rotation over this way. So we might as well just put 2 people there to begin with and space them out like that, because we're going to have to need 2 of them, and then we don't have to move. So do you stay long enough to try and get context, or do you just like get in and...
I'll try and get a bit of context.
Okay. You sit there for like 5-10 minutes listening, and eventually you kind of start to piece together what they're doing. Are you like climbing? I'm trying to get a look at what they're looking at too.
Looking at the papers. Yeah.
Okay. They're looking at a map. You see what looks like the floor plan of a fairly nice house. And laid out on the table, you also spot what looks like a party invitation. And listening in, it basically seems like they've been hired to act as guards, like just the hired guards for rich person party. Just like in case someone gets rowdy or something, or in case someone tries to come in and try something, they are the hired protection for this. So it seems like a fairly mundane mercenary job, and they're just going through planning guard rotations.
It's boring. She'll crawl out
Okay.
and get back on the leg.
Okay.
So probably like 30 seconds of waiting. Ilvem's gonna get bored and strike out on their own.
Okay. Start heading for
Okay.
the stairs.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go see if I can find somebody.
Okay. As you pass through by the window, one of them like sees you walking by.
I'll also like take my flute out of its case and just kind of like have it in my hand.
Okay. Then one of them like opens the door and leans out in the hallway. He's like, hey, who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Ilvem.
Hi. What are you doing here?
I'm here to perform.
You're here to perform? What?
Yeah. Isn't there like a bar? I met some guy. He said there was a bar. Here to perform at it.
We have a bar upstairs in our kitchen where we keep our liquor.
Was there a place people get together to drink that liquor?
I mean, like the kitchen and the living room, yeah.
And that's upstairs?
Yeah, but people are also trying to sleep.
I can be quiet. It's just a flute.
Well, who let you in here?
Oh, the really nice tap fork out front.
Oh, you got us. We point in that direction. He looks and he sees Hannibal just standing at the end of the hallway and just. Wait, you're not. Who are you? You're not stationed here.
I'm a Gunther Woodbarrel. Pleasure to make your acquaintance there.
Never heard of. Are you a recent transfer?
Yep.
I haven't heard anybody come. Which outpost are you stationed at?
I got hit on the head. I don't really remember.
When did you wait? What? Why? Wait, hang on. You got hit on the head. Like, what happened?
You can tell I'm pretty mangled up in the face.
Yeah, what happened? Did someone attack you or something? Do we need to take care of something?
Yeah. It was a while ago.
How long? Okay, wait. You just got hit on the head.
I think so. Time is confusing right now.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, all right.
But I was told, hey, you should go here, come here, because you're getting transferred there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I got hit in the head.
I don't think we've heard anything about any. Well, okay. When you say here, do you mean the city? Do you mean this outpost?
Why not both? That's what I heard. So I do what I told.
Okay, I haven't heard anything about any new transfers, but I can check.
Thank you.
We can see if. All right.
Gunther Woodbarrel.
Gunther Woodbarrel. Okay. Why don't you have a seat in here, and I will go and get somebody.
Thank you kindly.
All right. Yeah. Have a seat.
I take a seat.
Uh-huh.
Is there anybody around yet? Did he wander?
Yeah, there's 2 other people in the room who were helping plan the guard rotations.
Well, am I
I'm
in the
going
room with them?
upstairs.
What?
Am I in the room with them?
Yeah, he directed you to a chair
Okay.
like in the room. There's none in the hallway.
So, going to a party, eh?
Yes, that's the plan. We just gotta plan the guard rotations for, standard stuff. Nothing exciting.
I can do it.
You what?
I can do some stuff.
Thanks. Maybe you should get that head wound looked at.
Yeah, I probably should.
Yeah.
You know, the club came out of nowhere. I think
You
it was
got
a
hit
club.
by Okay, all right. Yeah, you're gonna wait for someone to talk to you.
Might have been a peg leg. Something.
Okay. Ilvem, what were you doing?
I'm just gonna start walking upstairs while the guy's talking to Gunther.
Okay, give me a stealth check.
Oop. 7.
Yeah, you turn to go, and like as he's like, wait, where are you? Hang on, where are you going?
Upstairs to
No,
the
okay, no.
bar.
People are trying to sleep, and one of our own got attacked. I think you just need to go.
I don't agree.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you nicely to get out.
Okay. We seem to have gone off the wrong foot here. I'm Ilvem. You are.
Asking you to leave.
That's a weird name. Tell you what. I have some healing magic. How about I heal your friend? Gunther, was it?
He's
And then-
not my friend, but sure.
We all just go get a drink and we talk about this.
I have work to do.
Okay, then
We have-
I'll get a drink.
No, you
And talk
can't just
about
come
it.
into our outpost and take our liquor.
I was invited.
Who invited you?
The half work.
That's not a great.
I have coin.
Look, this is not a great time.
Jangle, 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 jangle.
Appreciate that. This is not a great time. Can you please just go?
I was really looking forward to performing.
I'm sorry. It's not a great time before you came and it's late. People are sleeping. We've got an injured guy who got hit by a club.
Okay, fine. Then can I at least offer some medical services before
Sure.
I go?
Sure. If you head back, I'm gonna go get somebody. If you want to help him out, go ahead.
Don't touch me.
Let me just.
Don't touch me.
It's just a quick little.
Don't touch me.
You said you're gonna go get somebody.
Don't.
Yeah.
I'll wait with him.
Okay. All right. He heads back upstairs, and you're all just left sitting there in the room for a bit. The other ones start just kind of like briefly going over some guard stuff, kind of trying to multitask and figure it out while they keep an eye on
Can I
you.
whisper to Ilvem?
Yeah, they're like across the rooms. There's a part where there's like just there you get into something enough where they're
Okay.
I'll
distracted.
like come over to like act like I'm like.
If you touch me, your hand will go through my disguise. They will see it. So, how about this weather out there?
Pretty normal for the season, I guess.
Yeah, what are seasons anyway, you know?
What?
Yep. Nice weather we're having.
Oh, right. Head injury. Okay. Yes, it is.
What's y'all favorite color?
Blue.
Nah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
Is Spider Drew still here?
I get you're still on his leg, I guess.
I want to leave and try and go upstairs.
You okay?
Am I okay?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay. Let me see.
So Spider, first of all,
Yeah.
Spider Drew leaves the room and starts scuttling up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, or I suppose the easiest way to get to the wall and just make your way up sideways. Yeah. All right. What's Hannibal doing?
Nothing.
Okay.
Just
All
sitting
right, so-
there, hoping that this disguise doesn't end anytime soon.
All right. Yeah, you still got probably like 40 minutes left on it.
So you guys hear about? Never mind.
Yeah. So Drusilla, you get up to the third floor.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a large port. It's basically split in half. One side is completely blocked off except for a barred door, like prison style door that looks like it lead. You can see like looks like a guard post in there, and then on the right side it opens up more into like a padded room with lots of like mats on the floor and everything, and several training dummies and more of the wooden weapons you saw outside. So it looks like more of an indoor training area.
I'm gonna go to the prison looking door.
Okay. It's bars this far apart, so you can just crawl right through it.
Yeah, we're going in.
Okay. You go in, you pass by a guard post. You can see that there's a couple of the chimeras. These ones that are in armor, they're armed, but they're sitting on either side of a desk playing cards.
They do not notice little spider.
Nope, not, yeah. And then as you keep going by, there's another one of those doors you go into, and you come into a row of cells. Fairly large ones. They're not like individual cells, just kind of like open holding cells, basically. It looks like they could put multiple people into. At the moment, they're largely unoccupied, except for leaning up against one of the outer walls, like underneath one of the windows. You see a halfling in like one of his eyes is like swollen shut. His face is beaten up and bruised, and there's a few cuts with dried blood. His clothes are torn, and he's just kind of curled up, leaning against the wall under one of the windows, asleep in one of the cells.
Is that cell visible from the two guards are playing cards? Do they have direct line of sight?
They do not have direct line of sight to it, no.
Okay. Drew's gonna go into the cell.
Okay. You can hear him just kind of snoring as he leans up against the wall.
Drew is going to drop wild shape.
Okay,
She
so you
wants to talk to him.
appear in the room.
I'm just gonna like gently shake him, but like doing like this motion. Right, like, hi,
Hello.
my name's Drusilla.
Hello. Did you get captured as well?
No, I was a spider. I got in here. D-
All
were
right.
Were you the captain?
Yes, I'm a captain.
Did your boat get attacked? By these
Yes, it
people?
did. I'm the captain of the Quiet Dawn. Yes.
Okay. Believe it or not, we're gonna get you out of here. Okay?
Oh, thank you so much.
Just what did your boat have on it?
Nothing terribly complicated. Sugar. We were a shipment of sugar.
Sugar. Why would they want sugar?
I don't know. Some wealthy people offered to buy out my ship several times, but I refused. I like dealing on my own and not being owned by anyone. But I didn't think they'd do anything. But based on what the thugs who beat me up and kidnapped me said, there was a few things that it led me to believe it had something to do with that.
Hmm. That's not good. That's not good. Okay. How badly are you injured?
He like tries to sit up, and you can like clutch his ribs. Well, not feeling my best. think I can walk though, and everything. Everything's still intact. I don't think anything's broken.
No. Damn, I'm really not equipped to get someone out of here. That window. I have rope, I do.
The windows, it is like bars like this far apart, running up and down all the windows in here.
Okay. So, do you know if they plan to move you?
I don't know. They haven't told me anything.
Okay.
They just bring me food occasionally and leave me in here.
So, I'm going to leave this decision up to you. Either I can kind of, cure your wounds and then go get the rest of the people I'm with, and we can all kind of break you out of here. Or I can try and just break you out right here, right now. But I will say, I don't really have anything that'll help us be not spotted.
You're also there are those the there are two locked doors between you and the outside. Just you would know, like, even as like you crawled through them as a spider, but they are definitely locked.
I'm not prepared. I mean, I could magic them open with a good old thunder wave.
They look sturdy. You're not. There is a question in your mind as to whether or not a thunder wave would do enough.
Damn, that's not good.
This is not a rickety prison. This is a well-maintained.
What about the wall?
Hard to tell. I mean, they look the same as all the other ones, but you're not entirely sure what they're made of.
Ooh. Yikes. Even the wall in the cell?
Well, so the cell walls are pretty much all just bars. Like, it's this entire side
So
of the
he's
room.
not like up against an outside wall or something?
He is up against an outside wall, yes.
How sturdy does that wall look?
Load bearing on the build, so like probably significantly.
Damn.
Oh, I wish I was there.
So, I was just gonna turn to the captain and be like, so, what are we doing? Am I curing you and then going to get the rest of my party, or?
I think I would appreciate, well, I certainly appreciate a rescue attempt. The one that involves, as they would say, guns blazing, I don't know if I'm entirely comfortable with, if there's other options.
Got it. So I should go get the rest of my party.
If whatever you think is best. I appreciate anything you can do for me.
If only I had some way to contact. If only they had some way to contact me. But out of all of us, why none of us have message spell?
Sid does.
Sid.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna just give him a light tap, give him a cure wounds.
Okay, you can see like some of the bruises fade, the cuts that were like the blood had dried on like close up a little bit, like scratches at it, and like some of the dried blood flakes off, and you can see they're much more closed up underneath. Oh, that feels much better. Thank you.
Yo got a latrine. Sorry.
His breathing deepens a bit.
Oh man, there was a delay and I totally interrupted you. I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, we do. Do you need it right now?
Yeah, got to drain some of this pus.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I
see,
guess
and I left the eye patch up.
Oh no. Oh. Yeah, closest one probably downstairs.
Downstairs.
Yeah.
I'll be fine.
Okay. Right, and then a little bit later, the guy that went upstairs comes back down with someone who's got a little bit more bearing of authority, a little bit more decoration on the armor, and she says, "Yes, what is it? Who are you?"
Oh, I'm a Gunter Woodbarrel. Got hit in the head. I just got to go drain my pus in my eyeball.
Gunter Woodbarrel. What outpost are you stationed at?
No recollection. I got hit in the head.
Who hit you in the head? How did you get hit in the head?
I was walking down the street here in Pyre, and someone hit me in the head.
A person hit you in the head. They just attacked you on the street.
Yeah, they had like big bushy beard, big old mustache, kind of curly, bald, stout, about 4'5" ish.
All right. Well,
They said, "Hey, you're one of them mercenaries," and then hit me in the face.
we'll have to keep an eye out for wanton acts of violence against us. We'll have to petition for additional rights to defend ourselves if this is the case.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Thank you for letting us know.
I'm Gunter Woodbarrel.
Yes, you mentioned.
Oh.
We can offer you a bunk for the night if to help for you to recover.
Thank you.
That
Where would I find my bunk?
2 floors up. We have some extra rooms up there.
Okay. Mind if I go lay down now?
Not at all. Not at all.
Thank you. Okay. Bye. What would you say your name was? Ilvem?
Yep.
See ya. And then upstairs.
All right.
Moaning all the way.
All
Oh.
right. Yeah, the other guy will go with you. And be like, yeah, let me help you up. Let me help you up. Let me show you where you're going.
Oh, my head.
Yeah. Let's get you something for that.
See, I going upstairs.
Yep. Drusilla, you hear the loud voice of
Oh, Lord.
Gunther coming up onto the 3rd floor and then heading for the 4th floor.
Oh, Lord. I can feel it coming. Oh, it's going to happen.
Okay. So that's the person I'm with right now.
All right.
So this isn't going to be exactly subtle. I don't believe. But I'm going to go get him.
All right.
And then we'll see if the two of us can't get you out.
All right. Appreciate that.
My head. Oh, Lord.
Oh, are you all right? Are you all right?
I think I'm going to excrete a lot of pus right now.
Oh,
no.
why? Oh, no.
I don't know if I was being around. It's contagious.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's actually contagious. This isn't part of my head wound. It's just contagious. I squirt out
Oh,
pus from my
no.
eye, and anyone who gets hit by it gets the same
Oh,
kind
no.
of
Yeah,
illness.
Stop talking.
Oh, it's coming. I can feel it.
Do you have a bucket? Anybody have a bucket?
Oh, just use my hands. You give me your hands.
No.
Oh.
The commander that came down is trying to talk to you. They're just like everyone's just stopped and listening to what they can hear, just like right up the stairs, just echoing down about talking about pus.
Oh.
Contagious.
Oh, it's leaking out. I can feel it dripping down my cheek.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I couldn't heal that.
That's all right. Who are you?
Oh, hi. I'm Ilvem.
Hi.
And you are?
I'm the commander of this base, and can I ask why you're here?
See, here's the thing, is that I think I was given some faulty information.
All right.
Because honestly, I'm new in town, and I've just been like wandering about, having a good old time. I play the flute. And yeah, I was told that there was a bar here that maybe like y'all would appreciate some music because you work so hard. And I was like, that sounds nice. I'll go give them some music. And then I got here, and that nice half orc out front was like, yeah, come on in. But then the other guy was kind of mean about it.
I think you did.
Was overall very confused.
I think you did. Maybe got mixed up. Some of our larger outposts have closer to social halls in them, but this is a smaller outpost, so we don't exactly have that.
Well, that sucks. Do
Yes.
you want to hear my flute playing?
I'm sorry. We're dealing with, and you can just cheer. Oh, the pus from upstairs. We're dealing with something right now, and I think I need to take care of it. Perhaps another time. Maybe if you'd like to come back tomorrow,
Okay.
we can arrange for something.
I guess. Do you have any like? Is there anything I can do around the place?
No, that's all right. Please, just again, come. You can come back tomorrow, and we can figure something out.
Do you have any like free beds?
No, I'm afraid not.
Can I pay for a bed?
No, we're not an inn. What's Drusilla doing upstairs?
Where does it sound like Hannibal's voice has stopped?
Yeah, he's like stopped moving in the middle of the hallway and is like groaning about pus.
Does it sound like he's on this floor or
Yes, it's on this floor. Yes.
on this floor? Okay.
Oh man. How much do you weigh, by the way?
What does that have to do with anything?
You might need to catch me. I want to know how strong you are.
Oh no.
How much do you weigh?
Can I get some help?
No, it's fine. I just need one person.
No, I think I need some help.
If there's more people that'll get aggravated and start spraying,
What does that mean?
it's all based on anxiety and stress. Oh
What?
god. Yeah, I know. Oh fuck.
All right, Drusilla, what are you doing?
We're gonna put a pin in that. Gonna ignore Hannibal right now.
Okay.
Oh god. Drew is going to turn back into the spider, saying, like, I'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's gonna crawl and get on Hannibal.
Okay.
And then hope that he sees her.
You pass by the two prison guards who've stopped playing cards and are like looking out towards the hallway. Like, and then they're doing, that they're doing that moment of like, does anybody know we're here? Do they notice we're here? Can we just pretend we're not here and just not have to deal with that?
Yeah.
Like when you're home on a day off and the doorbell rings and you're just like, they know I've been here.
To crawl on the leg.
Okay. You go like if you go like under the pant leg, he'll probably feel you.
Yeah, like go a little
All right, up
Oh,
up
God.
green scaly leg.
Oh my god. Okay, I think we're good. I think the episode's over.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, let's get you up to a bed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
this way.
I'm gonna re-up on disguise self, just be safe.
Okay, yeah, you can do that like while you're doubled over.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, just up this way, and he'll lead
Thank
you
you
up towards the
kindly.
stairs.
Oh lord. Oh, I almost sprayed there. Oh god.
Ugh. All right. Yeah, you get up to the 4th floor, which this looks to be like the living space. You can see like you come up into like a living room, overlapped kitchen area, big enough to service like enough people for this entire outpost. A lot of places just gonna sit around and relax. Good sized kitchen. In between them is like a little bar area, like L-shaped with bottles and stuff behind it, and glasses and a couple of stools. Not a whole lot, but enough to like, for like an evening of relaxation.
Are we alone?
Currently, yes, but he's leading you towards a door to what looks like the bunk room.
Can you just hold up? Don't wait for me. I'll follow you. I just gotta catch my breath real quick. Oh.
Okay, yeah. Let me get the door open for you.
Can I hit him on the back of the head with my hammer to try and knock him out?
You can, yes.
Okay. Attack roll.
Yep. With advantage.
Okay.
You're surprising him.
Oh. That is a 24.
Yeah, that'll hit.
19 plus 5. Yeah.
Yep. Roll damage.
Oh, it's not a lot though.
How'd you do?
4.
Let me double check. Yeah, you hit him on the back of the head.
Crack.
Bang! And he cracks. Ow! What the hell? Why'd you hit me?
Again.
Okay, go ahead and roll the attack. Now without advantage because he's turned around and looked at you.
This is
What did
such.
you get?
I'm so stupid. 8.
Okay, so this time you swing at him, and he like catches your wrist and like shoves you back. He's like, "Okay, help, under attack!" And Ilvem down 2 floors down, you can hear that muffled, and the commander's like, "Oh, okay, we got problems. You've got to leave." And then, like you can hear
shit.
people in the bunk room waking up, and like the people in the planning room start like getting to their feet.
I thought I could knock him out.
And with there, as the entire outpost wakes up, that's what we're gonna call it for the week.
I was gonna knock him out and put him in my bag of holding. How much do you weigh?
Oh, that's what you were asking. I was like, I figured it was something magic.
Damn. My bad,
I
guys.
thought he was gonna push him down the stairs.
I was.
Push down the stairs.
I thought I could knock him out.
Apparently not.
Damn it! I could have used Archimedes just to melt the guy.
Oh, well,
Well, or give myself
see where we
inspiration.
go from here.
Damn it. Well, my bad, guys.
Well, this will be fun.
They don't know Drew's here, and that is my saving grace.
All right. So next week we'll continue this. Lindsey should be back with Sid. We'll see if Sid is around when this happens, because Sid will be doing some things for the evening without all of you.
Ugh, I just wanted to like get the invite that I ended up getting. It's just be like, all right, bye, see you tomorrow, and then like come back tomorrow to like, fuck.
Well, I mean, technically you can still do that. Like, they don't know you're associated
That's
with
true.
Hannibal.
Ilvem could just be like, okay, good luck.
And this is why
Yes.
we're the disaster siblings.
Yep. So you have a week to figure this out.
Instantly,
Also, Ilvem has
instantly fog
silence.
cloud.
Whatever you want to do.
Balls.
So, thank you for joining us, everybody, for our 1 hour earlier than normal session. Next week, I believe we are going to be back to our normal time. And yeah, so fun stuff.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. All right. Any last minute stuff to announce, Justin?
No, announced it twice during the stream, so just
Yeah.
check us out on iTunes.
All right. So with that, thank you for joining us, everybody. We will be back next week with more. 2 weeks in a row. It's a record. Hopefully continuing back into a more regular schedule, because we, as you said, we've got a lot of stuff to do.
Yep.
Hopefully you survive to get to it.
No, no. Gotta
might
go
not
back up
survive.
just in case.
Okay.
Yeah, what if Lindsey shows up next week and it's just like,
Everybody's dead.
yeah, the three of us are just dunsied.
Well, we'll find out if it
Drusilla
happens.
won't.
That's
She
true.
has a
Drusilla can
spider.
just leave.
She's-
Unless you get accidentally stepped on and pop back up as Drew.
That would be unfortunate.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a good rest of your weekend.
And don't forget to come back
Bye.
at 10:30 Eastern Time for a continuation of Descent into Avernus tonight,
That is right. Yes.
as they go to a bathhouse
Ooh.
to try and suss out some information about a family. Bye-bye.
Farewell.